President Biden and former President Trump preparing for a debate next week. Soon after, both parties will be holding their national conventions. It's there former President Trump is expected to pick his running mate. And Florida Senator Marco Rubio is reportedly among some of the top contenders, but there are a few hurdles first. According to the 12th Amendment, the president and the VP can't be from the same state, but there could be a loophole. One of the two could become a resident of a different state to get this ticket over the finish line. In fact, there are lax residency requirements in places like South Dakota, where all you need to do is visit just one day and have a local mailing address. CBS 12's reporter Amber Robb joining us tonight to explain how it all works.
Political experts tell me that here in Florida, there are several strong players who would make sense as Trump's vice president. But they question whether or not the former president should try to find a workaround to the rule. The future of the Republican presidential ticket is a hot topic as the first debate looms. Names like North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, and Florida Senator Marco Rubio have all been thrown out there. Former Palm Beach County Republican Chairman Sid Dinerstein tells CBS 12 News many of these candidates would be great choices. Marco Rubio has a lot to offer.
Marco Rubio is an extraordinary young man, high energy, great personality, good sense of humor, easy for people to connect with, and he's not only Hispanic, he's fluent.
But Sid says the fact that Rubio lives in Florida is a big problem. And that's because of the 12th Amendment, which lays out a candidate for president and their vice president pick shall not be an inhabitant of the same state. Public affairs professor Stephen Neely tells CBS 12 News, this is messy.
What the Constitution dictates is not that the vice president and president can't be from the same state, but that state's delegates to the Electoral College cannot vote for both of them.
But there are workarounds.
In South Dakota, if you go there for one day, you can declare residency.
This workaround has been done before. When Dick Cheney changed his residency from Texas to Wyoming to run on the presidential ticket with then Texas Governor George W. Bush. But it's a maneuver that Sid says won't go over well, especially since former President Donald Trump's supporters love him for taking on the establishment, not using their playbook.
We are the constitutional party. We're the party that says we wish the Democrats would follow the Constitution. Well, we can't say that and then say, nah, we don't need the Constitution.
Stephen says he could see this going either way, but he says there are options with fewer headaches.
The smarter move would be to choose a vice presidential running mate who can soften some of his rough edges and who can help to deliver potentially a swing state. I think his vice presidential choice, given everything I've seen, is likely to not be very consequential in shaping the outcome of the election.
Stephen says while the Republican Party's vice presidential pick is stirring up a lot of interest, he says next week's highly anticipated debate is the thing voters really want to see before making up their minds. Reporting in West Palm Beach, I'm Amber Robb, CBS 12 News.